Hello friends, this is our second lecture on the history of the English language. And you can see here an acronym PIE, P-I-E. The full form is acronym, you know, putting the first letters of words and making a new word. Like WHO, WHO, UNESCO, like that. This is PIE. So the full form is Proto-Indo-European. That is the full form. European, yes. Proto-Indo-European. Proto means early form or the first form. Proto means the first form. First form. You know, all these things happened before the dawn of history. Before history began. And therefore, you can just go on guessing. Yesterday, I gave you some theories about origin of language, isn't it? You remember that poo-poo theory, ding-dong theory, bow-bow theory, bow-bow theory, then gesture theory, he-ho-he theory, he-ho theory, yes, he-ho theory, and then what are the Tata theory, Lala theory, and putting down the baby theory. And we saw now, 1866 in Paris, they decided that we will never again think about origin of language because you will not reach anywhere. That's the reason. And then so the second lecture is about PIE, that is Proto-Indo-European. Proto means early form, the primitive form or the original form. Now, again context is some 3000 BC. That is the year somehow. BCE today we say. No, we don't say BC. That is before common era. BC means before Christ. You know, therefore to be more secular, we now say before common era. See? So 3000 BC, nearby the Black Sea, around the Black Sea, the lands around the Black Sea, some people lived. Some humans lived. Not like us. We are very civilized people. Yes. So what happened is they had to communicate. Some communication is required. So they used their language. We said they used their language. And that we call it Proto-Indo-European. Now why do you call it Proto-Indo-European? And how do you know this? Well, the term Proto-Indo-European means a family of linguistic forms. A family means there will be members, family of linguistic forms. And what is the peculiarity of this family? The members of this family, they are direct daughters, sons, cousins, first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, fourth cousin, fifth cousin, and so on. So like English, then Irish, you have got Scottish dialects. Dialect means what? A form of spoken English. Not English. Form of dialect means a form of spoken language. That's all. A form. For example, you have got Hindi. How many different ways it is spoken? The Hindi spoken in Punjab is different from the Hindi spoken in Maharashtra. So also, like Kerala, we also speak Hindi, but our Hindi is it's not like the North Indian speak. I told you, I was in North India for 10 years, Indore University. So I had my education in Indore, and I was a student of Indore Christian College, Indore. So I know how Hindi is spoken there and how Hindi is spoken here. Understand? We say Hamara Desh. But when the North India you say, it will be some other way you will be talking. Means same thing, Hamara Desh, but like when we sing Hindi songs, you can easily say, oh, this is sung by some non-Hindi speaking person. Okay, that's another thing. So dialect means a spoken form of a language. It can be in an area, it can be by a group of people, it can be by a state. See that a small area, local dialects are there. And state dialects are there. Then you have got dialects spoken by certain people are there. Dialects spoken by members of a caste is there. That is dialect means. Very important word, dialect. As far as when we consider this, when we are dealing with Indo-European, that word is very important, dialect. You should understand also the meaning of that. Okay, let's put it like this, dialect. That is very important. Now, family linguistic forms. Family of linguistic forms. Now, like for example, Greek, Latin, you have got Indian, Iranian, Albanian, Armenian. And then you have Latin Celtic, used by the Celts, original inhabitants of England. These English people whom you see today, they are not the original inhabitants of England. They are foreigners. They came from Germany in the year 450 or 460. And like the Anglo-Saxons and Jews. The original inhabitants are Celts. But you can find some of them in Ireland and Scotland. That is original. They spoke a language, Celtic. So Italic, that is Latin and so on. Now, all these languages today spoken in India, Iran, Armenia, Albania, Baltic regions, then Russia, Hungary, Romania. So then you have got Europe, the entire Europe. So already I have given you some names. Say Italy, then you have Spanish, French, then what else you have? Greek language, Latin language, every language that I have so far now listed. There are many more. They all belong to this family. They are members of this family. They are, this is the parent language, you can say, parent language. You can see now, you have got the parent language. You can see when you have got family gatherings here. So how many branches are there? Some of them are living in Canada, some in Russia, some in New Zealand, some in Australia, many of them in Canada, then England, UK, then India, and many states in India spread over, Bhutan, Sikkim, China, some people are living there now. See, that is, then when they come together in say, the family gathering, they are family of people because they are related. As I told you, father, mother, brother, sister, then a grandfather, grandmother, and you have got other cousins, then nephews, second cousin, second nephew, third cousin, like that branch. So you call it family. So like that, just I told you about these languages. They all belong to a parent language. That is 3000 BC in lands around the Black Sea. This happened before the dawn of history. Prehistoric. So you can go on guessing. Alright? So then suppose this is the land 3000 BC. And here we have got Black Sea and all those. Then people here. What will happen? What is the first thing the people will be doing from a locality? They will go away, migrate. So migration. So those times you can say migration happened because of say agriculture or nomadic people. They are carrying their sheep from one place to another, cattle one place to another. So they spread into different parts of Europe and also some parts of India. That's a beautiful imagination. Because we don't know, so we imagine. Then what happened? They settled down. Then some people found out there is some relationship between these. So what is Indo-European or Proto-Indo-European? The first form of the Indo-European language, which is a family which was spoken by prehistoric people who were living around the land around the Black Sea around 3000 BCE and then migrated to different parts of India and Europe. So these languages, they descended from the Proto-Indo-European, and now it is known by the geographical area. The speakers of Indo-European never knew that you are going to give this name to their language. Now we are giving this. Understand? Why? How? These are two questions. Then some people, like William Jones, they found out that there is some similarity, similar words. Example, Old English, we will say Old English. And then we will speak about Gothic, Goethic, Gothic language. Then you have a Latin. And then you have got a Greek. And you have and next one is Sanskrit, very important. Sanskrit, not because it is our language. Then when Old English is, it's a very common word is. In Gothic, the cognative is a cognative, means instead of this they use ist. Latin est. Then Greek esti. Not st. That is st. St means student concession. And then Sanskrit is asti. Asti. So look at it. So they found some comparative linguists, people who study, compare the languages, they found in Old English you say is, in Gothic you say ist. It's a relationship. So then from where did this relationship come? They investigated. They found that these languages, we don't have material to compare, at least we have got this much. They said that they belong to their relationship between this. Another word they took is eon. And in Gothic it is im. Same sound even. Sum. It goes sum means I am. That's it. Amy. And you have got asmi. Asmi and Sanskrit. Related. Then they further study. See this prehistory. But this material is available now. This development. What happened is they compared and found that there is a relationship. So it's a kind of induction, not deduction. Induction means you get some particular things, then from there you make a hypothesis. Hypothesis means below a statement that is below truth. Hyper means hypertension. Hypoglycemia. What is hypoglycemia? Sugar loss of sugar. Sugar patients sometimes they experience hyperglycemia and also hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is more dangerous. I'm not going to talk about that. That is Amy, Asmi and so. So they try to find out this relationship. And the hypothesis is that Sanskrit is an Indo-European language. And it has got an extensive literature. Extensive literature existed before the dawn of history. Now you understand the value of Indian language. That's why first name given to this family was Aryan. Because we have seen migrations, and when you study the history of migration, you find the Aryans came to India. Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and so on, their civilization. That is Aryan. So this language was known as Aryan language. Aryan, it's up to you. We can and the material offered by Sanskrit for comparison. What is this comparison? Offered for comparison. The material offered. What is the material? What can the language? What is the material of the language? Vocabulary and grammar, structure and so on. For comparison with other language of the group is of greatest importance. What is of greatest importance in the discussion of Indo-European? The material offered by Sanskrit language. Why Sanskrit language could offer this material? Because Sanskrit language had a very extensive literature even before the dawn of history. Our Vedas, Upanishads and so on. Understand? So from this they understood that these languages are related. Which languages? All those languages now spoken in Europe, Asia and parts of India. They are related and therefore they call it Indo-European, and the first form is progressive, primitive, Proto-Indo-European. And sometimes this is called Aryan. Another very interesting thing, the Germans were in the forefront of comparative linguistics. And Grimm's law, I have already taken 3 lectures on Grimm's law on the request of a student. A student wrote to me saying that, sir, please explain Grimm's law. I have done it. Actually, you should go with this. But before this, I did it for, as I told you, I have got a great love for student campaigns. Yes. Whatever is possible, we will do for you. Okay, that's another thing. So I said, it is Aryan. And the German scholars, they call it Indo-Teutonic. Teutons means Germans. Indo-Teutonic. And also Indo-Germanic. But this, of course, scholars don't agree upon this because this is too much importance to German. Teutons means German. Anglo-Saxons and Teutons. They came to England in 450. 445, 450. So that is Teuton. So the generally agreed name is Indo-European. It's a family because they are all related. How do you know that they are related? Because you can compare. From where did you get the material for compare? Sanskrit. Understand? So this is a very important point to note. Indo-European languages. So that is, we are speaking an Indo-European language. So why do people quarrel? Very often I used to think like that. They quarrel on over language. Language issue. Sometimes flare up like this. After all, we are all speaking the same, the language that have descended from the same father and mother. Father and mother means parents. There is no father mother here. So that, and Albert C. Bow, that's a good Albert C. Bow. His history of the English language is a treasure for a student, teacher also. It's a treasure. If you are serious enough, if you want to know about history of English language, both this external history and internal history. Internal history means upload, umlaut, Grimm's law, then inflections, laws of inflections, and things like that. You must have a copy of Albert C. Bow's A History of the English Language. A history of the English language. It's a treasure for a student as well as a teacher. So he says, what does he say? It's very important to know. He says, the language thus brought into relationship. That is what it is. Quote, the language thus brought into relationship. The language thus brought into relation. How? How did he bring it to relationship? By comparing them with the vocabulary. Relationship. By descent or progressive differentiation. By descent or progressive differentiation, the language thus brought into relationship, that's important, the language. By descent or progressive differentiation from a parent speech are conveniently called a family of language. From a parent speech, which are conveniently called a family of languages. That is that. Inverted commas. You can quote this in an examination. It's an authority, not out of body, it's an authority. So it says, the language thus brought into relationship by descent or progressive differentiation. It can happen like this. You have Indo-European. Descent means one, then come this, and then like this. You can see like this. Progressive differentiation means, let's say, imagine that these people were living here, and then they went to different places like that. So they took their language with them. So you have got they went to different places. When they went to different places, there might have been non-Indo-European languages, like L1, L2. See, your language, your pronunciation, etc. is influenced by your mother tongue, just like that. We don't know because this is conjecture. Understand? So there might have been a Semitic language, Semitic groups, for example. It is not a part of Indo-European. They don't belong to the Indo-European. Semitic means the Hebrew, Syriac and so on. That is called a Semitic group of languages. So maybe, then what will happen is once I remember, I told you about pronunciation I said. When the Bengalis speak English, their B is very prominent. So they Bindra. But some others pronounce it as Revindra. B. That's the way. And then Malayalis speak that the plosives and fricatives are too strong. Familiarization. Not all. I'm just giving an example only. When I give an example, there ought to be some exaggeration. So I just exaggerate both this. And then you have got this. So, either it is progressive differentiation from the parent, either by descent, the descending like this. And then, or progressive differentiation from the, so sender, you are in Spain. So, there may be some other language, local dialects also. Mix with this, then it becomes a language. Indo-European Spanish, Indo-European Italic, Indo-European Greek, Indo-European Sanskrit, Indo-European Baltic, Indo-European Slavonic language, Indo-European, after some time the Indo-European is lost. Okay? Like, sometimes you can see now, we think about American English, British English, Indian English. Say, after some time I think standard English they will say, all these are standard English. So such things happen. The Indo-European becomes an adjective, and that slowly disappears. I hope that you have understood why I have been talking to you so far. So the Proto-Indo-European, the proto-language, divided and scattered before the dawn of history. Divided and scattered before the dawn of history. See, the Tower of Babel, the Tower of Babel. That's a symbolic, it's a story you can say. But how people scattered, carrying with them their language, and they mixing with other, like racial mixing. There's no pure race. So racial mix, language mixing. So you have different languages, different races and so on. So like that. So this is a very key sentence you must remember in connection with the Indo-European. First you should know what is Indo-European. So family languages in the prehistoric times spoken by our great ancestors. So somewhere 3000 BCE around the lands of Black Sea. That is conjunction. And what do you mean by Indo-European? It's a family of languages from which all the languages today spoken in Europe and India and some parts of Asia and so on descended. How descended? By descent or differentiation, progressive differentiation. And how do you know that there is relationship? You have got a wonderful literature, existing literature in Sanskrit language, and from Sanskrit materials you took. Then you saw that a lot of relationship between certain words, like for example brother, sister and so on, pater, frater. Unnecessarily, you can, I said this book is a valuable book for that. You get plenty of examples also. And then what happens is, then this. And how do you know that is, this, for example, is, as me, esti and so on. And then we found that therefore, the importance to show the importance of, to focus on the importance of Sanskrit and the contribution made by Sanskrit for comparing other languages with the Sanskrit and finding out the relationship, you call, this linguists used to call this group Aryan languages. Then, these German scholars, they were on the forefront of research and hypothesis construction and so on. They said this is Indo-Teutonic. Then Indo is there. Because Aryan. Then there are some said this is Indo-Germanic. Both means the same. But general acceptance is that it's not Indo-Germanic or Indo-Teutonic or Aryan, but it is Indo-European, depending on the what we call the geographic area where these languages are spoken. So Indo-European name is determined by the geographical area where the vast and extensive geographical area where this language and members of this family are spoken. I think I have tried to explain to you what is meant by Indo-European and why we call all these present languages members of Indo-European. That is by comparing certain words and so on. And then we saw that how Indo-European developed, that is progressive differentiation or descent, isn't it? And what are the names given to that, etc. Who were the early speakers of Indo-European, what happened to them before the dawn of history and so on we saw. And therefore now it's very simple for you to write about a note about Indo-European, isn't it? Yes, very good. So tomorrow we will be discussing the two theories, that is the wave theory and the pedigree theory. Understand? That we will see, that is about this descent and progressive differentiation. That descent and progressive differentiation you can say in simple language, but these scholars won't allow that, they will have theories on this. So one theory is wave theory, the other theory is what you call pedigree theory. Pedigree, you know what is pedigree. Not pre-degree, but pedigree. See? That is your father, mother, then the relationship and so on. Successive bifurcation and dialect differences. Wave theory examines dialect differences, and that is pedigree theory examines successive bifurcation. That we will see in the next class. Till then, bye, have a nice time, enjoy reading and studying. Albert C. Bow is a treasure, as I told you, both for students and teachers. If you are interested, definitely you will be interested in the study of history of the English language and see how the English language that we speak today, and also it has become world language. So it's very interesting to investigate the history of the English language. How it happened that it has become the world's most used language, the most we can say. So millions and millions of people in different ways, different styles, different ideologies, different registers, different dialects, you can say. So it is really fantastic. It is like entering into a labyrinth to find out the way here and there, etc. So I invite you to take up this challenge of studying the history of the English language, which will be one of the most adventurous, academic adventures that you can take up during your postgraduate studies or in some universities undergraduate studies. Okay, till then, bye. Have a nice time. Take